Hi guys, Ellie here, and we're having another garden tour. So come and have a look inside my garden and I'll show you what's happening. Okay guys, so we've just come into the yard and we're going to start off on the same corner that we started at the last time. We've got our bulbinella bush still going strong and our potatoes. So as you can see, our potatoes are actually starting to die back a little bit. So once they're completely dead, we will harvest and see if we manage to grow anything in this container. We haven't had the best luck with potatoes, and we still haven't quit yet. We keep trying. Eventually we'll get there. Over here we have our strawberry wheelbarrow and our beautiful yesterday, today, tomorrow. It's actually started flowering and it is stunning. Our garlic chives have bounced back, which is nice to know. Soon we'll be in business. And today I even planted my first golden zucchini. And the seeds for this I actually got from Living Seeds. Over here we have our wall of roses. I've added a lavender, and this is a peach tree from our neighbor. And these are our herbs. Last time we had the garden tour, this poor pot had all but dried out, and now it's bounced back beautifully. So we should be in the business of herbs shortly. We do have a parsley up here. Not its happiest, but it's still giving. As far as what we have on the potting bench, we still have broccoli and kohlrabi as well as some basil. We even have some Swiss chard seeds going in and some kale, and they'll probably be going in pretty soon. I still have one more golden zucchini and a regular zucchini that I need to plant out. The plan is to actually plant this particular zucchini in that pot over there. Our spring onions are also doing extremely well. I'll probably come around and give these a haircut soon and then let them continue to grow. Next to the potting bench we have the rose bed with our tomatoes growing in. So I just want to show you the progress on the tomatoes. For this particular vine over here, it has grown all the way up and it's come back down. This branch then splits off, so we've actually got two fruiting branches at the moment. And yes, they do have some smallish fruit on them, and we've removed all the leaves in the hope that maybe these little fruit will have enough time in our autumn just to bulk up and ripen. But we'll see how that goes. As far as the roses go, they are still flowering. It even has some buds on it. But what we really are amazed by is how quickly this bottom bed has filled out, and it is looking very, very pretty. We have two colors of impatiens. We have the pink and the coral. We have some marigolds and even some verbena growing in here. I'm not sure how much of it will survive the frost, but that's why we do these tour videos, so that we can monitor and see what our garden has been up to this year. Our blueberry bush is still going strong. We've had a fair amount of new growth. It has discolored slightly, but we think that's a lot to do with the rainy weather, so it's going to get a good feed and hopefully it'll be fine. Over here is our orchard. The lychee tree does have some foliage still on it, as too does the fig. The fig has only produced one fruit this season. Well, okay, no, it produced more. However, other beings enjoyed the figs more than we did. So here in the container garden, we've got two pepperdew bushes that are flowering. I don't think they're going to have enough of a season to actually produce any fruit, but I'm not going to stop them from trying. Our mustard greens have definitely sized up quite substantially, and I'm not angry about that. But how beautiful does this container of lettuce look? It is jam-packed. And the nice thing about this is we can just harvest as we please for the girls and for ourselves. And the more you harvest, the more it grows. We have our Heinz tomato, our bay tree, and the rest of the plants in this situation are looking very good. On this side, we have a Tabasco pepper. I'm super excited about this. Visually, it's a really nice plant to have in a container. It just adds a little bit of a pop of color. And I like that they are at varying degrees of ripe. So you've got these pretty colors all over. And we have my 2 echinacea plants. This one unfortunately was attacked by the chickens, and it is a beautiful orange color. This is what is left of the healthy growth. So I don't know if it's going to make it or not. We'll have to see. Down here we've got our onion experiment, and these are some paprika plants. They do have fruit on it. And our paprika plant is ripening. They actually have produced extremely well this year for us. Over on this side, this impatiens is living its best life. It's currently not in the shade, but most of the time our umbrella is up, so it is sheltered, but it does seem to be really enjoying its space. So this is a pretty big deal for me. We now have a new functioning path that runs through the garden, and this should make it a little bit easier to work in this space. So right over here we have essentially our greens patch. This entire area will soon become Swiss chard. So currently we've got Ford Hook Swiss Giant and some pepper juice growing, as well as this Witzer bean. And down here we have some chard seedlings. I was actually gifted these seedlings by my mother, and I left them on the potting bench, and when it rained it washed out most of the soil in the seedling tray, so I had to emergency plant them. So I've planted 2 rows here, and we'll see what makes it, and hopefully they'll all bush up like this. As far as the paprika goes, it does still have quite a few fruits on it, and some of them are even ripening, so I'm going to leave them until they're finished, or until the frost does to them what it needs to. And our Witzer bean is still producing quite nicely. It has a fair amount of beans coming up, and they'll be picked shortly. This little moneymaker is still here. I wouldn't say it's growing any bigger, but the fruit is ripening, so soon I'll just come around and take the fruit off and remove this. So from here, let's move over to this side. And in here I've got 2 kale plants that are doing quite well, and some more spinach, and I have this tomato plant. It is on its way out. As you can see, it's starting to give up the go, but I do want these fruit just to ripen up a tad. I don't want to waste anything we've grown. So when this tomato is taken out, I will have this section available here to plant in, and I think I will probably be planting some kohlrabi out here, the ones that we've got planted on the potting bench. Here are our onions. They're looking a little bit sad at the moment, but today was warmer than the last few days have been, so it's probably that's got them looking that way. And we have our jalapenos down here. We're probably not going to overwinter the jalapenos. We're just going to use them, and next year we'll start fresh again. Fortunately, the plant is laden with peppers, so we'll use those as we need them. Pretty sure just shot this jalapeno across my yard. It's obviously a sign that I should be cooking with it tonight. Then next to that we've got this eggplant. It's a long purple, and I do actually have 2 fruits on here at the moment. One over here and one over there. It does have quite a few flowers on it, so we'll see if we get any more eggplants out of that plant. Just to the side, I have a row of beetroot growing, and a row of carrots, and our 2 purple beans. We've still got a tomato and an eggplant, another Heinz tomato, some beans, and Jack's giant beanstalk, which I can't complain about because it has kept us in beans. Duncan and myself have decided to hold on to some seeds from this plant. so that next year we can have multiples of this plant. Hey guys, so I'm on the other side of the bean plant now, and I just want to show you how we plan on saving seeds from this plant this year. Over here you can see there's a bean pod, and you can see that the beans are actually swelling in the pod itself. So what we're going to do is we're going to leave this pod to dry up on the plant. We have left a few more just to fatten up so that we can have a few extra seeds, but the remainder of these beans we'll probably pick for fresh eating. It still blows my mind that this is one plant. Here in the line garden, I'm sure you can see there happens to be something missing right here in front of the chicken coop, and that is the black tomato plant. Unfortunately, we don't have enough of a season for it to have made significant plants and to ripen, and we did have the mishap with the seeds, so I actually planted 7 little Brussels sprouts in the ground, and hopefully they make it, because we really haven't had the best luck with Brussels sprouts. So if you do have any tips on how to grow Brussels sprouts, please leave them below in the comments. In the section next to the coop here, we have mainly black beans growing. They are planted in succession, so I have 4 originals, then I've got 5 that have, I planted 6, but Little Pip ate one of them, and we've still got 5 remaining, and then we discovered 2 that had self-seeded, so we've got quite a few little black beans growing, and they should produce a fairly decent harvest. And this is the last of our black tomatoes that are growing from Auntie Pat, and as you can see, they are ripening beautifully, and these are the seeds that she got when she went to visit Dunk's sister in the States. So it's very cool. Feels like we have a little piece of her with us. In this little portion over here of the garden, once the bulk of these plants have been removed, which would probably be within the next week, it'll free up a fair amount of space to plant in. And I think in this little section over here, I'm actually going to plant out all of our root vegetables, things that I can plant in rows. And then along this wall over here, the plan is to plant broad beans so that they can grow vertically and we can string them to the fence, because now that we're going into winter, the sun that falls in the chicken run itself will change and the orchard will no longer give them sufficient shade. So the plan is to grow on both sides of this fence vertically over winter, and hopefully by the time spring rolls around they'll be nice and full, and then they'll go into flower or to fruit, and they'll be visually appealing for us as well. My plan with this eggplant, because it is quite large, is to see whether or not it suffers from the frost, and if it does, we'll remove it. But if we can, I'd actually like to try and overwinter this eggplant and just use the space next to it to grow crops. So just thought I'd stop here by the arch and show you that we've actually got some cucumbers growing. I have 2 little cucumbers on this particular plant, and on this side I have one tiny little guy here. I'm not expecting much from them, but if they're just little cucumbers, that's alright, then we'll put them in salad. So there you have it, guys, a little bit of a garden tour at the end of the month, just so that we know where we're standing going into the next one and where we're planning on making improvements and what we're planning on changing. Thanks for hanging out with me, I really do appreciate it. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and hopefully we'll see you in the next video. Thanks guys, have a great weekend. Bye.